getting into trouble. You are kinda like a fire, like a fire, like a fire. Unpredictable, so original. You are never backing down, backing down, backing down. That's what I like about you. So dangerous, I get this rush when I'm with you. I go all in to lose or win. Real things up to knock 'em down. It's the way we keep our high, moving like a hurricane. There will come a time for when we can wash away your sins, settle down, but until then, we're like a hurricane.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Yeah, this is Level with Omobola Stephen, and this is Omobola Stephen. Thanks for tuning in. The question is, why does happiness seem so elusive? Because many of us are looking for it in the wrong places. That is it. Too often we think the answer lies out there in the pursuit of material possessions. Like if we buy a big home, somehow that will make a pain-filled marriage better, or when we get a bonus at work, we will buy a new car. Surely that will make us happier. Well, let's move on. Today, I'll be talking about the others to happiness. Oh, did you miss the previous episode? I discussed about laughter and being happy. You want to listen to it. Why not? If you're on iTunes, on Listen Notes, on iTunes, on Google Podcasts, on Podchaser, Deezer, YouTube, on Useven, on Podcast Addict, or Catbox, you can search for Lawoli by Omobola Stephen, and I promise you a worthwhile listening experience. It is true that when we acquire something new, there's an initial surge of pleasure. Our cravings and desires are satisfied for a short while, then the happiness bubble bursts and we are enticed into seeking something more. Even if we elevate our social status by accumulating more, the happiness usually doesn't last. We quickly adapt to this new level. What was originally more becomes normal. We still want to increase our pleasure. In reality, most people compare themselves to others who have what looks like a more successful lifestyle, believing that if they had the same lifestyle, they would be happier. I have felt the way before. Sincerely speaking, I'm saying the truth. I mean, it was very overwhelming. I need you to know that money isn't always or often the way we measure our successes. Okay, we go ahead to say if we only have more money, life will be great. Or perhaps we say, if I could just win the lottery, all my worries will be over and I'll be happy. Well, it's natural. It's natural to nurse these feelings. It really is. Anyways, research proved this not to be true. In fact, when the set of people acquire the wealth they are clamoring for, they realize that it creates more strife and misery, not the happiness they had anticipated. Divorce and loss of friends are commonplace after a lottery win, you bet. The evidence, is indisputable. Money does not buy happiness, yet we have the illusion that it does. We do. Now, from Jim Rohn, he said, happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. How about that? Nice one, you say.
Ladies
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. It's an engaging and enlightening talk show on life, relationships, and the business of life. Grab a cup of juice and just chill. Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. Live life. Live fully.
The way I do about anyone but you. If I were to lose you now, I don't know what I might do. You're in all of my dreams, whether I'm awake or I'm asleep. My love ain't going anywhere, babe, I'm in this way too deep.
The truth is that receiving an unexpected windfall only makes you more of who you already are. If you're a shopaholic before you won the financial bonanza, you will probably just become an even bigger spender. The reason so many lottery winners are not able to gang or gauge on the winners is that they haven't yet become the type of person who can successfully manage large amounts of money. The blow is on extravagant living, flashy cars, bad investments, and diverse settlements. No wonder they end up unhappy. Are you in the habit of putting your happiness on hold for some future date? Remember the when-then game. Something like, when I retire, then I'll settle down and be happy. Or, when I meet the right man, then I'll settle down, I'll be happy. What if our happiness is not out there? What if our thoughts, feelings, attitudes, and desires are continually changing? Notice this constant. I want you to know that because of this, we will never find enjoying happiness out there. We will not. Things that used to give us happiness lose their appeal. People who brought us joy in a relationship now disappoint us. The great job we thought will be so fulfilling now leaves us empty. Even the purchases that excited us initially grow old, worn, and no longer good enough. It all seems so futile. So, the question is, where do we find happiness? We find happiness in the simple pleasures of life, appreciating the beauty of nature, enjoying the warmth of the sun on our body, or walking on the beach with the water gently lapping at our feet. Maybe it's winning at sports, the feeling of satisfaction for a job well done, or simply holding the hand of someone you love. It's the little things that keep you bouncing along above your set point, says Dr. Leakin. Now, there are many ways to find happiness in every day. There are so many ways. We need to be more aware of time. Sometimes we think happiness means giggling and having fun. That's good. But don't we also feel happy when we do a great job at work? Don't we? Just remembering a wonderful holiday or a favorite piece of music can make us smile and feel warm inside. Filling our day with what matters most to us and living authentically are the recipes for happiness. Absolutely. Are simple happiness or simple pleasures enough? Can we also sustain the feeling of happiness? Those are my two questions to you. Maybe we could if we stop wrestling with how to change our outside circumstances in order to satisfy inner cravings. When we slow down enough to find the serenity that comes from just being who we are or relying on what we have. I remember a holy moment I had many years ago. I call it a holy moment because it wasn't just a moment of happiness and joy. It was much more. It was a moment in time when my life felt great. For an instant, it felt like the world had stopped and held its breath so I would take notice. It was a beautiful spring morning and I've just finished teaching in one of my relationship classes. I knew I had done a great job. I went aside and stood in the warm sunshine and felt heat. My holy moment. That is holy. that point, I didn't know why I felt so overwhelmed with joy, but now I know. I had caught a glimpse of my purpose. Now that's beautiful. Also, Neo said, let us never know what old age is. Let us know the happiness time brings, not counting the years. Now that's what to live by. From me to you, all my love always, and thanks for tuning in. See you some other time. Bye for now.